Tonight, hundreds of protesting fishermen confronted by police, delaying budget day in St. John's.
We want our business back in our own hands. Period.
The government's response to those demands. Ottawa reveals new alleged fraud by government subcontractors.
Let me be clear. These fraudulent billing cases are unacceptable.
Tracking the boom in 3D printed firearms.
What is your worst case scenario?
Yeah, honestly, it's the sheer numbers of them.
Trying to catch up to the elusive ghost guns.
From CBC News, this is The National with Asha Tomlinson.
Thank you for joining us. Adrian is on assignment. We begin tonight in Newfoundland and Labrador, where the future of the fishing industry has sparked a fight at the legislature. Hundreds of protesters blocked access to the government building today, clashing with police, resulting in some injuries. The large presence and the crowd's refusal to leave forced the government to delay the release of its 2024 budget. The big issue tonight, fishermen in the province want more control over what they can and can't do with their catches. But as Terry Roberts shows us, the government and a court say those harvesters went too far.
The province's fishing industry has been the subject of heated debate for weeks. But for the first time, that debate has turned violent. Protesters blocked the legislature on budget day. Despite resistance by mounted police, they didn't back down. Union officials say one protester broke a hip. An injured police officer, also taken to hospital. This senior aide to Premier Andrew Furey, pushed back by protesters. All of this because fish harvesters want change.
We want our business back in our own hands. Period.
Their union pushing to overhaul the industry by allowing more processing plants to increase competition and lifting restrictions on who harvesters can sell their catch to. They want to go outside the province and open up sales to companies in the Maritimes.
We're not in here joking around. We just want to get this fixed once and for all and be treated like every other industry, you know, in Canada.
Something happened today that have never happened before in the history of Newfoundland. The budget was cancelled.
On the eve of the protest, the provincial government signaled it was open to the demands of the harvesters. Clearly, that's not enough. Now there's a court injunction ordering protesters to allow safe access to the building. And the Premier is calling for calm to get the fishing business and the business of government back to normal.
I am profoundly disappointed today that the behavior of a few could take over and jeopardize a budget that is for the entire province.
The government promises to deliver the provincial budget on Thursday. The Premier warning another protest of this nature could lead to arrests. Still, protesters promise to be back in big numbers at Confederation Building. Terry Roberts, CBC News, St. John's.
Budget day in Saskatchewan was also met with protests by teachers seeking a new contract, gathering for a one-day strike. The teachers' union is pushing for rules regarding classroom sizes to be included in their next deal, a demand the province has so far refused. In addition to today's walkout, smaller strikes are planned for later in the week, and extracurricular activities are being pulled as of tomorrow. Turning to Ottawa now, and more questions about accountability in Canada's public service. The RCMP has been asked to look into new allegations of subcontractor fraud involving millions of dollars in suspected overbilling. Here's Kate McKenna with what we know tonight.
Canada's procurement minister says 3 IT subcontractors billed multiple departments for the same work repeatedly for years.
Let me be clear. These fraudulent billing cases are unacceptable. Rules are in place to ensure that taxpayer dollars are protected, and systems must be also in place to make sure that those rules are being followed.
Government officials say the double billing involved 36 government departments between 2018 and 2022 at a cost of $5 million.
The overbilling, therefore, was made in a manner that took advantage of the fact that until recently, when everything was done on paper, until recently it was difficult for departments to coordinate and to share that information.
and there could be more cases coming. According to a federal government official speaking on Background, today's announcement is the first wave of fraudulent billing cases the department has identified, with more expected to be announced in the coming months. This is just the latest in a series of allegations about mismanagement in the public service.
The $60 million Arrive scam is just the tip of the iceberg. We now learn that there are $5 million in additional fraud that has been identified by the Department of Public Procurement.
The situation is obviously unacceptable, which is why authorities are looking into this procurement process. Anyone who took advantage of our COVID response to save Canadian lives should face consequence.
Last month, the Auditor General found the final cost of the federal ArriveCan app is impossible to determine because of poor government record keeping. She also raised questions about why some contractors were hired or even who hired them. Then came word the Auditor General's office had to fire 2 of its staff for earning money from government contracts on the side. Those files were also sent to the RCMP.
A public servant is held to a higher standard than other individuals, and that's why there are strict codes of conduct and values and ethics in the public service.
And Kate, the federal government also announced a plan today aimed at stopping this kind of fraudulent billing.
Yes, Asha, most notably, they're creating a new office with powers that'll make it easier to suspend or ban a subcontractor. That office is set to open in May. And also the federal government says it wants to recoup that $5 million, but so far it hasn't been successful.
Kate McKenna in Ottawa, thank you.
You're welcome.
And today, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre upped the ante in his party's carbon tax battle, warning the government to back off from a scheduled increase or face a vote in the House.
If Trudeau does not declare today an end to his forthcoming tax increases on food, gas, and heat, that we will introduce a motion of non-confidence in the Prime Minister.
Such a motion, designed to topple the government and trigger an election, would be expected to fail given the NDP agreement to support the Liberals. The carbon tax is set to increase by 23% on April 1st. The U.S. is moving forward with an ambitious plan aimed at transitioning its auto industry toward electric vehicles. Nisha Patel now with how it will work and why Canada could benefit.
U.S. officials call it the most ambitious plan ever to cut carbon emissions.
Today we're setting new pollution standards for cars and trucks.
Rules that will force automakers to build cleaner cars. To meet the limits by 2032, 56% of new vehicle sales could be electric, 13% hybrid. But since lower emissions is the point, car makers that produce cleaner gas-powered vehicles could make more of them.
This really sends a signal throughout the automotive supply chain that electrification is here to stay and that this is the path forward.
The regulations aren't as aggressive as an earlier proposal, giving companies more time to transition their fleets. But advocates say ultimately they will boost EV purchases, which made up less than 8% of total U.S. sales last year.
And that just creates a snowball effect that I think we'll just continue to see further adoption.
A trend that may offer opportunities for Canada's auto sector.
53% of the parts made in Canada go into those cars that get exported. So if an electric vehicle is sold in the U.S., that's good for us.
This Vancouver startup makes power inverters that can be used in EVs and is looking to sell them south of the border.
We have initiated conversations with a few manufacturers in the United States, and hopefully the news today will help accelerate those conversations and open more doors for us.
Still, EV sales growth across North America has slowed at a time when Canada is also trying to reach challenging zero-emission targets. The auto industry argues more needs to be done.
To build out the charging infrastructure necessary, educate consumers about the technology, and ultimately help make them more affordable with consumer purchase incentives.
Because though car makers can offer electric options, it's consumers that will have to shift gears. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
In Haiti, the violence from armed gangs is getting worse. A council is urgently preparing to choose the country's interim government. But as Evan Dyer shows us, everyone else is trying to survive the danger and chaos.
I went out yesterday and there were dead bodies in the street. Another massacre on the streets of Pétionville, considered the safest part of Port-au-Prince. 10 young homeless men shot for no apparent reason. Local Exilien Dagen says, "We were just sitting here when two boys suddenly appeared. They didn't say anything to anyone. They just came up and started shooting." Since the resignation of Prime Minister Ariel Henry a week ago, there's been a vacuum of power in Haiti.
The gangs. That's who is in charge in practice. They are shooting, and it's with machine guns, and there are many of them, and we don't have arms.
With the police overwhelmed, Haitians who need protection from gangs have only one place to turn: to other gangsters. Former residents of one district have been living in this camp for 8 months. Backhoe operator Jasmine Dorville says neighbors tried to resist the gangs but couldn't. Now, some residents have been able to return to Carrefour Foy, not thanks to the government or police, but rather to gang leader Ezekiel Alexandre, who just escaped from prison. "I'm here today to help people return to their homes," he says. "It's not easy, but with the support of the people, I'll do what I can." Hope for most Haitians rests on a multinational security force composed of African and Caribbean nations, but that can't come till there's a government.
The Haitian parties have been working together every day. They have meetings like 2-3 times a day.
But agreement remains elusive, and until those stakeholders can agree on a prime minister, no foreigner is likely to come to the rescue. Evan Dyer, CBC News, Ottawa.
Some developing news tonight. Chris Simon's family says the former NHL player died by suicide. Simon's death was first confirmed yesterday. His family blamed CTE, a progressive disease that affects people who have suffered repeated concussions and traumatic brain injuries. He played 15 seasons in the NHL and was involved in more than 100 fights. Chris Simon was 52 years old. The casket of former Prime Minister Brian Mulroney has left Ottawa en route to Montreal.
Prepare to halt. Halt.
He will lie in repose at St. Patrick's Basilica until his funeral on Saturday. For nearly 2 days, the Mulroney family stood in a receiving line, greeting almost everyone who came to pay their respects in Ottawa. Chief political correspondent Rosemary Barton sat down with Mark Mulroney.
It's your dad's birthday, the
It
day
is.
that we do this.
It is.
And you've all been standing there for not 2 full days, but a long time now, greeting people. Why did you want to do that? Why did you want to make sure you also spoke to regular Canadians?
It was never even a question. My mom said we're going to be out there, and it started, and people said, "Oh, you can go in shifts." And my mom said, "We're not going in shifts. These people have waited outside for hours," and no one said, "I'm tired" or "I can't do this." We've loved it. We've gotten energy from people waiting in line and the stories we hear. I've heard stories that, like, I thought I knew everything, and now there's a whole new book of efforts and things that my dad put out there that we just didn't even know.
CBC News Network and CBC Television will broadcast the state funeral for Brian Mulroney on Saturday. Our coverage begins at 9 a.m. Eastern, hosted by CBC's chief political correspondent, Rosemary Barton. The kids are not all right, at least according to the latest data from the World Happiness Survey. The report shows that young people in many parts of the world are becoming increasingly less content with their lives. Yvette Bren shows us the story behind the data.
This is 3-year-old Wyatt's happy place, but for many Canadians older than him, happiness seems to be declining.
So after COVID, people don't go out anymore, like as much as before. So I think that might be one of the reasons.
This year's happiness report shows this country has slipped from 13th place to 15th. And when it comes to those under 30, Canada is 58th. Far behind Nordic countries like Finland, which has been in first place for 7 years now.
So in Finland, Denmark, and the other Scandinavian countries, you'll find that wealth is way more evenly distributed. So more people benefit from the wealth that's being generated in these countries.
The rankings are based on assessments by individuals of their own lives.
Canada stands out in that our young seem to be doing worse than our elders by more than is true elsewhere.
Not a shock at this table of 20-somethings.
finding places, or like even the simple things like groceries can add up so much, and then you feel this like weight of like you have to be able to make this amount to afford to live here, otherwise you're low income when you're not even low income.
There's moments where those thoughts of course come in, like things like the pandemic, not being able to see your friends.
Trying to buy my groceries and pay rent, and I can only work part-time because I'm in school so much.
Researchers hope that tracking happiness using hard science could inspire governments to adopt new approaches.
Then we can rethink a lot of things. What would life look like if we actually had well-being oriented policies for a generation or two? I think that's an unknown.
He hopes this research forces change, shifting government health and social policies to focus on more than economic growth.
Meeting friends makes us happy, having people over.
To help Canadians back to a happier place. Yvette Brend, CBC News, Vancouver.
Many Nova Scotians are angry with the provincial government after it scrapped a law that would help protect the coastline. As Kayla Hounsel explains, the province says it has a new plan, but some coastal homeowners say they didn't get a chance to weigh in.
That would presume he was up here before and is now sliding that way.
For 45 years now, Richard Gilbert has lived right here on the water, watching the coastline change.
The erosion on the coastline is incredible.
He was thrilled 5 years ago when Nova Scotia passed legislation with the support of all political parties that would stipulate people must build a certain distance from the water's edge as sea levels rise and storms intensify. But the legislation was never proclaimed, and now the provincial government has scrapped it in favor of an action plan that tells people what they should do, not what they must.
That piece of legislation was too narrow in its focus. This action plan is a much broader plan.
But Minister, you personally voted in favor of creating a law that would dictate where people can and cannot build in 2019. Why have you changed your mind?
So much has changed in 5 years.
Back then, he says, the province didn't have all the other measures now in place to fight climate change, and he didn't have the results of a recent survey. He says the government sent 40,000 of these cards to every coastal property owner. They'd only got around 1,000 responses.
They didn't ask me, they didn't ask any of my friends or the neighbors up and down the road here.
I asked some others, right on the water.
I'm wondering if you received anything in the mail from the government asking you what you think about the Coastal Protection Act.
Nothing whatsoever.
No, haven't seen it.
This is really disappointing. We were in a really strong position 5 years ago to take action, and now we were very much behind.
1.2 meters of sea level rise, wow.
The government's new strategy includes a map showing the worst-case scenario in the next 75 years.
So do you find this useful?
No.
Gilbert says the province needs a law, not a plan.
I think most of us know what needs to be done. People are saying, well, what can I get away with?
And he says the new strategy is not a reflection of what people who actually live on the coast believe is the best way to protect it.
Tide's going out now.
Kayla Hounsel, CBC News, Linwood, Nova Scotia.
Major League Baseball made its debut in Korea, and it was a major hit. The Big Stars fans came out to support.
They're going to be, I think, inspired by some of the stars that they're seeing, players that look like them.
People in the Yukon step in to help Ukraine.
We've raised a considerable amount of money. We've sold a lot of borscht.
Why they felt compelled to act. And a man rigs up a rescue plan to save his dog.
I thought I'd have to try and get him somehow.
We're back in 2. British authorities are investigating an alleged security breach of Kate Middleton's medical records. According to allegations first published by The Mirror, a staff member at a London clinic where the Princess of Wales had surgery back in January tried to access her records. Britain's data protection watchdog now says it is investigating. Fresh off of signing the biggest contract in baseball history, Shohei Ohtani and the Los Angeles Dodgers have kicked off the MLB season with a special series in South Korea. And as Philippe LeBlanc shows us, the league's biggest superstar did not disappoint.
Major League Baseball fever has taken over Seoul. Tickets for this game sold out within minutes.
Fans arrived early for this first ever official MLB game in South Korea.
I'm so lucky, I don't have to fly to America. Yeah, that's most important. I save a lot of money.
And here is Shohei Ohtani.
Highlight moment, mega Japanese star Shohei Ohtani, newly signed to the Dodgers for $700 million, faced Yu Darvish, a mentor to so many Japanese players.
Member of the Kiwoo Heroes who called this place home.
For Korean star Ha-Sung Kim, it's a triumphant return home.
They're going to be, I think, inspired by some of the stars that they're seeing. Players that look like them.
14-year-old Ju Hoo-sung dreams of playing in the MLB.
일단 샌디에이고 파드리스의 김하성 선수.
He studies his idols' every move. This series in Seoul also showcases Korean baseball culture. It's a marriage between sport and K-pop music. Fans sing and dance non-stop during the game, regardless of the score. For Major League Baseball, these games, largely thanks to the impact of Shohei Ohtani, are a huge business opportunity in a booming Asian market.
When you consider everything, the merchandising, the TV, the sponsorships, the attraction to players, the tour groups that fly to see Major League Baseball, it's worth a lot of money.
And Ohtani, a little blooper in the left. That's going to get down.
Led by Shohei Ohtani, the Los Angeles Dodgers staged a late rally to win 5-2. In Korean baseball culture, winning isn't everything. Fans want to be entertained. And tonight, they were. For the very first time, the best players on the planet came to play in their own country. Philippe Leblanc, CBC News, Seoul.
Canadian police forces are busting more people making 3D printed guns. We get an exclusive look at what police are doing and why they struggle to stop them.
The technology keeps advancing, right? The printers are getting better, the materials are getting better.
And the backlash to class complexity.
The tools we have to serve all kids are simply insufficient.
We explain the movement and why some teachers say it's not working. The National breaks down the stories shaping our world next. People in the Yukon are once again coming to the aid of Ukrainians caught in war. For the third time, a group of volunteers from the territory are hand-delivering medicines and supplies to the country. As Kate Kyle reports, they don't plan on stopping.
So like these kind of tubes, these crate tubes, are for combat medics.
The packing like clockwork.
Stainless steel scalpels, surgical scalpels, biopsy needles.
All this fundraised by Yukoners, many with family connections to Ukraine.
We are compelled to help because it is so necessary.
Jeff Soloychuk is part of the group's third mission to Ukraine.
This is huge for us. We've raised a considerable amount of money. We've sold a lot of borscht.
Since the war started, the Ukrainian-Canadian Association of Yukon has hand-delivered more than $150,000 worth of medicine, medical supplies, and equipment into Ukraine.
This latest mission, 20 suitcases flown from Canada to Amsterdam. Then a 16-hour drive to reach western Ukraine. A warm welcome in Short Kyiv. A local charity will bring these donations to soldiers in the east, including this van, soon to become a medical evacuation vehicle.
Сьогодні ці речі рятують життя воїнів.
These things save lives of soldiers, said Short Kyiv's mayor, Volodymyr Shmatko. He's grateful. At this hospital in Yuzhno-Kranks, reminders of war are never far. These donations help free up money to keep the hospital running.
And this was looking like maybe children after some Christmas Christmas day. For us, this means that we are not alone in this world.
Also meaningful for those who have fled Ukraine, like Anya Libedemko, who lives in Whitehorse. She says this Russian drone footage shows her family's homes destroyed. They still live in Ukraine.
It gives me a hope that the world care about this situation.
Yukon's support will continue. This Whitehorse gallery owner is selling Ukrainian art to help fundraise for their 4th trip in October.
It's like, as long as they keep going, how can I not? And that somehow in all of this, that this is how we're still fighting for the good that's in our world.
A fight they will continue, no matter how long it takes. Kate Kyle, CBC News, Whitehorse.
Now it's time to dig deeper into the stories shaping our world. It's a core issue of the Saskatchewan teachers' strike. Kids with learning differences or behavioral challenges jammed into already full classrooms without enough support.
It is heartbreaking. The students' needs are getting left behind.
But first, homemade ghost guns. The menace just keeps growing.
The technology keeps advancing, right? The printers are getting better.
Our exclusive access inside a firearms lab.
With a 3D printed gun, you don't have that tracing history.
This is the breakdown. So has government kept its promise to crack down where it can? For more than a year, Ellen Morrow has been tracking all the developments. She's back on the case.
We're at an Edmonton police facility.
This is where we're going to be doing the shooting. We test all our firearms in here.
Testing out an untraceable firearm, a ghost gun.
Now we'll load a full magazine.
Firearms expert Larry Snidel just finished making this gun using a 3D printer. A do-it-yourself deadly weapon created in just a few hours.
And are we all good?
We're good.
What's worrying police? A growing number of criminals across Canada are doing the exact same thing. We first told you about 3D printed ghost guns more than a year ago.
It's crazy that this becomes a full-out gun.
The Glock 26X, the AR pistol.
The guns are homemade with no serial numbers for tracking anywhere on them.
We know that they're crime guns. We know that they're created for a specific purpose.
These guns present unique challenges for police agencies working to maintain public safety.
Since our story aired, police across Canada carried out a first-of-its-kind nationwide bust targeting the firearms.
45 people were arrested on Tuesday.
Nationwide crackdown on ghost guns.
Seizing 71 completed 3D printed guns and 176 3D printed gun frames across 8 provinces.
What is your worst case scenario with 3D printed guns?
Yeah, honestly, it's the sheer numbers of them. They are a massive, massive concern.
So here we are in the middle of a police station, and you are here making guns.
When the guns came up, it was bring the printer in and give it a try here.
This is the Firearms Examination Unit of the Alberta Law Enforcement Response Teams.
We printed this to demonstrate how the supports work to help the investigators.
Here, Larry tries to recreate 3D printed guns found at crime scenes, helping to build court cases and educate officers.
What can you learn from printing these off when it comes to investigations?
Somebody had attempted to print a whole bunch of guns, had a whole bunch of parts, and nothing was ever completed. So we're able to recreate what he did and end up to get a functional firearm. So we were able to get a conviction on that.
Edmonton police seized 32 3D printed guns last year, compared to just 4 the year before. The force recently carried out one of Western Canada's largest ever busts, seizing guns and gun silencers that were 3D printed.
I'm looking at what was happening a couple of years ago, what's happening now. People are experimenting on different things.
That makes this trend even more ominous.
It allows them to...
With some criminals, Larry says, finding ways to 3D print metal parts that would normally need to be purchased.
As I look at all these things, these improvised ways, it's pretty overwhelming when you think about the technology and being able to police it.
Yeah. The technology keeps advancing, right? The printers are getting better, the materials are getting better. We're going to see more and more of that. Just hit the slice plate and it'll go through and calculate all the tool moves.
Larry shows us just how easy these guns are to make.
And this gives us what we're going to print.
Instruction data files are downloaded from the internet and loaded into the 3D printer.
And when I'm ready, I just hit print plate and that goes off to the printer.
Depending on the printer, the receiver, or the frame of the gun, the part where the serial number would normally be can be made in under 10 hours. The metal parts are then added.
What do you think people should know about these guns and the challenge that they pose for police?
They're dangerous. Just stay away from them. If you are the person printing, that's a problem. And if you're not, then you don't know what you're actually getting.
As numbers started to spike last year, we sat down with then Public Safety Minister Marco Mendicino, who told us Ottawa had a plan to get 3D printed guns under control.
This is technology that is new, but it has been around for a few years. Why haven't you done more sooner to stop this?
Well, we've been active. We put in place a national ban on assault-style rifles. We put in place a national handgun freeze.
3D printed guns specifically.
And we have a plan in place to deal specifically with ghost guns, which does involve expanding our legislative toolkit and sending a strong message to criminals that if you think you're going to use ghost guns to get away with it, you're wrong.
Nearly a year later, the Liberal gun control law C-21 was finally passed. It was already illegal in Canada to make a gun, but the new law further targets 3D printed weapons in two ways, making it a crime to have computer data that pertain to a firearm capable of being used with a 3D printer for the purpose of manufacturing or trafficking a gun, and requiring a gun license to buy some of the metal parts, including the barrel and slide, a change police forces had been demanding.
Gun barrels, they're fully legal, they can be moved around as parts. So I was saying before, actually last summer, that I'd like to see some controls on those.
Most of C-21, like the part about the computer data, is already in effect, but that section of the law dealing with those metal parts has not come into force yet. We confirmed that with Public Safety Canada, and the agency did not give us any clear timeline for when that part of the law will actually be enforced.
And those computer data files for printing guns, despite the law, they're still easy to find online.
I printed this beautiful blue
with a
frame.
large 3D printed gun community based in the US. Back in Edmonton, we sit down with Deputy Chief Devin LaForce.
What do you see in terms of who's making them, what they're doing with them, where the guns are going?
So it's usually like an organized crime group or network or criminal. That person could have limited criminal history and they have a technical savvy for 3D printing and are able to manufacture these guns and subsequently sell them. It's definitely valuable for them to sell it to criminals.
Is there anything more that can be done to help get ahead of this problem?
I think now it's just a little bit of catch-up because certainly when instructions and directions on how to make a gun are put onto the internet or the dark web, as much as we can try and make it illegal or try to pull back from the availability of those instructions or directions, it exists. And so all of these things, there's a little bit of a lag, a little bit of a catch-up for the court system.
It sounds like there's a lot of catch-up. You've used that expression a lot of times.
That is an unfortunate reality. We're very, policing is very reactive, and even stolen firearm, you can trace the origin of that firearm. Whereas with a 3D printed gun, you don't have that tracing history.
So without other evidence, police can't know where the guns came from or who made them, and they make traditional investigative techniques less effective. The next day, this forensic firearms investigator shows us why.
You look at them both at the same time, and then you try to see if there are similarities.
Ebony Lyle Nicholas analyzes bullet casings from crime scenes, trying to link them to the same gun. That's not impossible for 3D printed guns, but they make it a lot harder.
In a normal factory manufactured firearm, there are markings that are left during the manufacturing process that during the firing process get transferred onto a cartridge case. There are databases that exist out there that have certain markings that are particular to certain makes.
So the difference is, like, with a factory-made gun, if you have the cartridge casings, you can get information about the gun from the casings, but with a 3D print, you can't really.
Because there's so many versions of them out there, like you can't unless you have source material, really.
That makes Larry's work even more important. This is what a receiver looks like as it's being printed. At the end, metal parts need to be added.
We're going to take the supports off to give us access to all the parts here.
It takes Larry about half an hour to complete.
I know all the plans are there, but what's the learning curve to actually building a gun? Because I'm watching you and I'm like, there's some intricate little steps here.
If you have somebody who knows what he's doing, who's got some mechanical background,
Yeah.
I don't see it being difficult, no. trigger mechanism pops into this rail here. It's not 100%, but I think we should go give it a try.
Okay.
Larry hopes to retire soon, but for now, his work on 3D printed guns is keeping him busy.
Everybody's got eyes and ears protection on. Okay, and we got a crack in the receiver after 10.
10 rounds and then the plastic there cracked.
Yeah.
A 3D printed gun is not always reliable, but experts say that's not what matters.
It's still functional. One round is bad enough, and we got 10 out of there.
So Ellen Morrow joins us now. Ellen, how did Larry start printing these guns?
Well, that was a big question that we had, Asha, because it is a bit of a strange feeling to be in a police facility and see guns being made, albeit, of course, for investigative purposes. So we asked Larry how this all started, and the story starts out in quite a heartwarming way. He said that he was looking for a hobby to do when he eventually retires. He bought a 3D printer. He was making trinkets for his niece and other things around the house. And then these 3D printed guns started showing up more and more. So he was asked to bring his printer in where he was working to start printing the gun so that police can try to keep up with this trend. But as you saw in the piece, it's a really big challenge.
Yeah, and you know, this is your second piece on printing 3D guns. What has struck you the most?
Well, we did another story a little more than a year ago. For that one, we went to the U.S. We were in the basement of a gun enthusiast, a 3D gun creator in Wisconsin, and we saw him print and complete a gun as well. And it was shocking then to see what essentially is like plastic wire start to form the base of a gun, then to see the parts being added. And it was no less shocking this time around for me more than a year later, because you just see it sort of come to life right in front of you. It's sort of a wow moment, an ominous wow moment, and it shows you why this is just so difficult for police.
It is quite something to watch. Thank you, Ellen.
You're welcome.
Some teachers are speaking out against a move to make classrooms less segregated.
We're kind of now at a tipping point.
Why they're demanding change. Next. Saskatchewan teachers shout out for more support. As kids with various needs and different challenges present a challenge in overcrowded classrooms.
Teachers will say that they haven't been trained for it, and they're not wrong.
Schools across Canada are looking for answers. Here's Deanna Sumanak-Johnson to break down the impact of all that complexity in the classroom.
These striking teachers have brought a phrase from teachers' staff rooms into the public conversation.
They call it classroom complexity, and what it means is kids of different learning abilities, needs, and challenges all crammed into one, often large, class. The reality of it is more than just complicated. It can be described as chaotic. So how can we make it better?
Within those classes, you might have several students, maybe 6 or 7 or 8, or even more students who are on individualized learning plans, which means that they might be learning a different set of curriculum than the rest of students in the class. You might have a number of students within the class who have English as an additional language. You might have students who are struggling to manage their behavior and with emotional regulation, and you might have gifted students.
We're kind of now at a tipping point where the system's saying the tools we have to serve all kids are simply insufficient for the complexity of the task, for the challenge of the task.
In extreme cases, there may even be instances of student violence towards other students or teachers.
Experts say students are not to blame. The situation is.
When kids are frustrated, when they're acting out, they're telling us something, right? It's communication. Something's not working for them. So we need to figure out what is that and then help them with the classroom understand that. Now that may not be the classroom teacher's responsibility.
So how did we get here? Well, let's start with the intent behind classroom complexity, the right of students with different learning needs to be brought into a single learning environment.
There was even a UNESCO document about it. It was called the Salamanca Declaration, and it was signed by more than 90 countries, including Canada, exactly 30 years ago.
I think what we've come to realize over the years is that segregation is not a good thing. And we're now starting to understand that with people with disabilities, that when we segregate, we think they are less than, we think that they are different from, and that gives that message to everybody else that they're not as worthy. So it really is a human rights perspective if we think about that.
The thing is, in Canada, each province and territory runs its own education system. Provinces give funding to school boards, and then eventually that funding determines if there's enough money to hire additional staff, like teaching assistants, school-based speech and language pathologists, and child psychologists.
Teacher unions in Ontario, BC, and New Brunswick have all successfully lobbied governments to put some provisions in place. Though many teachers and parents in those provinces will tell you it's not like every student there gets the support they need. In places like Saskatchewan, teachers say class complexity has an effect on every single child in that class.
It is heartbreaking. I know teachers take it home with them. I've had the experience where I have seen kids struggling, and despite everyone's best effort, whether it's the teacher, the student, or members of the family who are trying to support the learning that needs to happen, that the students' needs are getting left behind.
But it's not just about money. Some experts say it's also about how that money is spent. Often that requires creative thinking.
Sometimes support staff spend so much time supporting a kid with special education needs through their day, they don't get time with the teacher. But we could reverse some roles for small periods of the day where the teacher works with the kids who need them most, and the support staff supports the rest of the kids in their general learning activity.
Also, an overhaul in how teachers are trained.
66% of the teachers in Nova Scotia, when that student's first report came down, said their teaching training did not prepare them. They didn't feel prepared in the classroom.
But over in Saskatchewan, they want solutions now, more long-term, sustained funding and language around class sizes.
It might be hiring additional teachers to ensure that we have smaller class sizes or fewer split grade classes. It could be hiring some of those extra professional supports.
Some teachers say inclusion without proper supports is abandonment. As the conversation around complex classrooms gets more urgent, more uncomfortable, more complicated.
And Deanna tells us that solutions can come with a substantial price tag. In 2016, a court decision forced BC to spend $250 million. That went to hiring enough staff to accommodate complex classes. Next, a BC man tactfully rescues his dog who fell through the ice.
I took my keys out of my pocket, my cell phone out of my pocket. I slowly worked my way out there to him.
His quick thinking in our moment. You're looking at a man doing everything he can to save his dog. That's Brian Skaken on the ice. His dog, Cato, was stranded on the partially frozen Fraser River in BC. That's when Brian jumped into action and used the resources around him to rescue his dog. His ingenious idea is our moment.
So there was really nothing that was going to stop me from getting to my dog. My son and I, we decided to go hiking by the Fraser River with my dog. I'll just see if you can see him in the back here. Cato, there he is in the back seat. You see him? Yeah. He comes with us everywhere. Cato he wanders away at times. And at one point we heard him sort of whining and yelping, and I couldn't figure out where he was. He was actually struggling to stay afloat. He fell through the ice. I thought I'd have to try and get him somehow. And I looked around. I saw a couple big pieces of driftwood, and I thought, if I could use the driftwood and crawl on the ice safely, I was at least going to try it. I took my keys out of my pocket, my cell phone out of my pocket. I slowly worked my way out there to him. I'm a power engineer. It was something that just came natural, I guess. Now, wait. After I rescued him from the ice, he stuck so close to me for the rest of the day. It's like he knew. You know, he had come close to, maybe dying. I just couldn't imagine what it would have been like to lose him.
Oh man, that is so cool. And you know, interesting little tidbit you saw there. When they rescued Cato, he was wagging his tail with joy and just walked out like nothing happened. But Brian had to drag the wood for approximately 20 meters. It took about 5 minutes, but as you can imagine, it was the longest 5 minutes of his life. Happy ending for all. Thank you for joining us. You can watch anywhere, anytime on the free CBC News app and subscribe to the Nationals YouTube channel. I'm Asha Tomlinson. Take care.